Welcome to this video on paragraph structure. All texts have structure. For example, an essay is structured as an introduction, body and conclusion. These elements are made up of paragraphs, and in this video we're going to look at how paragraphs can be structured. At its most basic, a paragraph consists of a topic sentence that introduces a topic and signposts what the paragraph will cover. This is followed by body sentences that develop the topic that's introduced in the topic sentence. And there may or may not be a concluding sentence that offers a more general comment in some way. Moving beyond this basic structure, what are the qualities of a well-structured paragraph? Hudson and LeClair identify 4 qualities: unity, development and organisation, which we cover in this video, and coherence or flow, which is covered in the paragraph flow video. The idea of unity is that you focus on just one aspect of your argument or topic in each paragraph. The topic sentence plays a key role in achieving this because it basically defines the scope of your paragraph. Thus, the topic sentence signposts what the paragraph will cover, and your body sentences mustn't go beyond this, and in reverse, you may need to adjust your topic sentence to cover all of your body paragraphs. Development is the way the paragraph progresses from the topic sentence to the concluding sentence, if there is one. So what the body sentences do. So body sentences generally elaborate on the topic sentence in some way, and here are a list of just some of the ways that this can be done. Well-structured paragraphs have an organising principle. The most typical organising principle for paragraphs is a move from general to specific, and if you have a concluding sentence, back to general again. This principle is very commonly used to organise paragraphs, and it's a good starting point for writing and organising your own paragraphs. Interestingly, it somewhat mirrors the structure of an argument that we use in something like an essay, where you state your position up front, provide your evidence in the body of your essay, and then restate your position in the conclusion. In this way, general to specific paragraphs can be seen as a mini essay, where the topic sentence is a statement of position, the body paragraphs are your evidence, and the concluding sentence is a restatement or modification of your position, stated in the topic sentence. We'll look at how general to specific paragraph organisation works with some paragraphs from a textbook. Read these 2 paragraphs, noting how the topic sentences, marked in red, encapsulate what each paragraph is going to be about. In the first case, the fuels of the body, and in the second case, carbohydrates as a source of energy. Here's the same text with the 3rd paragraph, which is on the second fuel, fats, added. Pause the video and identify a more logical order for the sentences in the 3rd paragraph. Don't forget, the most general sentence will be the first or topic sentence. Did you put the sentences in this order? What clues did you use to help you? For example, the word facts is likely to become at the beginning of the paragraph because that's what the paragraph is about. The word they can really only refer to facts. The last 2 sentences are harder, but the logic seems to be that there are 2 ways that facts can be stored, and the last sentence is how the stored fat is utilised. Try the activity again with the 4th paragraph, which is on the 3rd fuel, proteins. Pause the video and identify a more logical order for the sentences. Did you get this order? Sentence 5 is a topic sentence because it starts with the word proteins is most general and also refers to proteins as a source of energy. The next sentence, sentence 1, is an example of the fact that proteins are a source of energy in the Eskimo diet. Sentences 2, 4 and 6 describe how proteins are processed by the body. And the last sentence, sentence 3, draws a conclusion in relation to proteins in contrast to carbohydrates and fats. If we look back at the paragraphs in the text, we can see how the ideas of unity and development apply to each paragraph. The first paragraph introduces fuels and explains how they are taken in by the body. Each of the 3 subsequent paragraphs deal with each fuel in turn. They only deal with one fuel. Each of the 3 paragraphs, carbohydrates, fats and proteins, are developed primarily through description. They describe how each fuel is processed in the body. But the proteins paragraph is developed further by the example of the Eskimo diet and also by the concluding sentence. Although general to specific is the most typical way for paragraphs to be organised, there are also other ways of organising them, and we're going to look at 4 examples now. So in specific to general organisation, as the name implies, we start off with a very specific sentence. So you can see in the example here, the topic sentence actually has specific details of a specific study, and then it's developed through elaboration, and then goes into more broader context with the concluding recommendation for the concluding sentence. So this kind of organisation can be used in academic and business writing. For example, in academic writing, if you're reporting findings, you might give the specific finding and then elaborate on it in terms of its implications or some kind of explanation. Similarly, in business writing, you might have a very specific starting point in your topic sentence, for example, an end-of-year financial result, that you're going to go on and explain in your paragraph. Another organising principle for paragraphs is chronological, or organising by time. So this can be very specific time, so you might use years or dates, but it can also be time in relation to a particular process, as in this example. So this paragraph is rather technical, but you can see words like during, prior to, and then, after, and immediately are all signals of time, which is being used to organise this paragraph. Another way of organising paragraphs is spatial organisation. So spatial organisation is useful when you have to describe something quite physical. So in a marketing situation, you may have to describe a product. The example here describes a statue, and you can see language that indicates location around a statue. Here, 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 and here. Finally, an organising principle that is often used in academic and other analytical writing is comparative. So this is where you might have 2 or 3 things that you want to compare within the same paragraph. So in this example, the authors are effectively comparing 2 definitions of CSR. Discussion of Carroll's definition is shown in bold, and Maguire's is left unbolded. So you can see the paragraph starts off with discussion of Carroll's definition, then goes on to provide Maguire's definition. Then it returns to Carroll and how Carroll has developed Maguire's definition back here again, and then finishes off with a whole discussion of Carroll's definition in contrast to Maguire's. This kind of comparative discussion can be less or more interwoven, so you could start off a paragraph with a discussion of one definition and then go on to the discussion of the second and third definition, or you can interweave them all. Depends on the point you're trying to make and how you're trying to make it. So texts have structure, and a key component of the structural elements of text are paragraphs. Well-structured paragraphs have unity, they deal with one topic, development, so the discussion progresses, and they are organised based on one or more principles. And we've looked at these principles in a range of different texts.